Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, I am honored to be here tonight, to be with you for a few moments after having been gone from Canada for many years. I see some of my old friends and imams and respected brothers and sisters, and I pray Allah the Almighty that tonight will be beneficial for all of us. I'd like to make a dua that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam used to make. Allahumma inni a'udhuka min ilmin la yanfa'u. Oh Allah, I seek refuge with you from knowledge that doesn't benefit. I want to make sure everyone can hear me. Yes? All right. And I want to ask a question. Why are all the lights out except from here? I like to look at the people I'm speaking to. So if the organizers, if there's no reason not to, I like to turn up. There you go. Brothers and sisters, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea how long I'm going to speak to you tonight. There's a possibility I'll speak to you for 15 or 20 minutes. And there's another real possibility that we'll be here after midnight. No, really. See, you think I'm joking. After 3 hours, you say, no, I think it was serious. One of the great boxers in the history of the United States was a Muslim named Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows Muhammad Ali. And I have the opportunity to have met him, to know him, to love him. But one day, Muhammad Ali was on a plane, and the plane was about to take off. And the flight attendant said, Mr. Muhammad Ali, please put on your seatbelt. He said, Superman don't need no seatbelt. She looked at him and said, Superman don't need no plane. So he put on the seatbelt. What I wanted to talk to you tonight is that I want you to do something. Thursday night, Yom al-Jum'ah. I want you to do something. I don't want you just to hear a lecture and say, oh, Imam Siraj, he came from the United States, he gave us a lecture. But I want somehow that inshallah the words that I will say today, that somehow it will affect you and in one degree help to push you a little bit better. For instance, the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, "Al-mu'minu qawiyyu khayrun wa habbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if wa fi kulli khayr." A strong believer is better and more loved by Allah than a weak believer, but it's good in all of them. So wherever you are on the spectrum of faith, whatever the level of faith that you have, I pray to Allah that tonight somehow it'll get a little bit better. In New York City, the 105th mayor, very popular name, Ed Koch. I knew him, he just died recently. And we were in a studio together about 40 years ago. And he asked me a question that he asked everyone. He said, Imam Siraj, how am I doing? Is a great question. And every once in a while, everybody have to ask themselves the question, how am I doing as a Muslim? How am I doing as a father? How am I doing as a mother? how am I doing as an imam? How am I doing as a teacher? How am I doing? Tonight, I want to focus on two things. The one most important, always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that we make no mistake about our relationship with Him. And then number two, I want to talk about you. You as Muslims in Waterloo, or Canada, or America, or Europe, wherever we are. First, about Allah. The French call it raison d'être. It is the very reason for existence. And before we speak about us, we have to speak about Allah. Basic. That Allah has not created the jinn and the humans except to worship Him. And if you look at the Quran, the word that is repeated most often is the name Allah. Thousands of times, all throughout the Quran, Allah, Allah, Allah. Everywhere, it's all about Allah. And then I want to talk about us, His servants, His slaves, human beings. We are not supermen and women. One of the most eloquent words of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, he said, "Innama ana bashar." I am only a human being. And when he said that, he said it because Allah commanded him to say it. Qul innama ana basharun mithlukum. Say, Muhammad, tell the people that I am human just like you. But this human being caused a lot of problems. A lot of problems. I want to balance us as human beings from one being totally dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we can do nothing except by Allah's permission. On the one hand, but on the other hand, I want to balance it with how great Allah has made us. And so that we can do more than what we're doing. I want to, in the time I speak to you tonight, I want to try to keep the balance. I'll give you an example. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ألم تروا أن الله سخر لكم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Don't you see? Allah has subjected for you everything in the heavens and the earth. Man, this Johnny come late. Everything and everybody was already here by the time we came. Angels were here, jinn were here, heavens and the earth. Everything was here, and on that last day, Yom al-Jumu'ah, lo and behold, the creation of man. The creation of man. That man. You want to see a spectacle? How many angels are there? Would you guess? Huh? Huh? What you say? Allah. Inestimable. There are so many that you can't even count. Trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions. I want you to go back and imagine this. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. And the angels, every one of them, all together, prostrated to Adam. Big angels and small angels all throughout the universe bow down to Adam. Why? Because Allah ordered them to. And not one disobeyed. And the irony is that in addition to all the angels, Allah ordered a jinn to bow down to Adam. It was Iblis, and he refused to bow down to Adam. One jinn. And all of these difficulties as a result of this envious jinn, because of the great honor showed to the children of Adam, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي Adam, and we have honored the children of Adam. Everybody okay? Yeah. Now you gotta talk back to me. I'm from New York City. In New York City, we talk to each other. Allah didn't tell the human beings to bow down to the angels. He told the angels to bow down to Adam. Then we must be something special. Look how creation serves us. Did y'all eat dinner yet? You didn't eat dinner yet? Oh, see, that's not fair. I thought you ate, but I was going to keep you all night. But the next time you eat dinner, I want you to do me a favor. Anyone you like chicken? You like chicken? Okay. I want you to do this. Salah, I want you to do this. I want you to promise me you're going to do it. The next time you eat dinner, tonight, tomorrow, whenever, and you eat chicken, I want you to have a conversation with your chicken. No, for real. And I want you to look at your chicken and say, Mr. Chicken, why were you created? I know why I was created. I was created to worship Allah. Why were you created? And your chicken will tell you this. He will say, Salah, talking to you. I was born a year ago, and I ate and I grew up so that this night I can spend my time on your table, on your plate, so that you can enjoy me for one night. أَلَمْ تَرَوْا أَنَّ اللَّهَ سَخَرَ لَكُم مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Don't you see? Allah has subjected for you everything in the heavens and earth. Dogs! Muslims don't like dogs. But dogs are created for us. Do you know that right now they're training dogs so that they can smell the breath of men to detect cancer? Dogs have an unbelievable sense of smell, millions of times more powerful than a human being. I went to Australia, and me and my wife, we get off the plane, and we go down the baggage claim to get our luggage. And they had one of those guards with a security with a dog sniffing the luggage. And the dog started sniffing the luggage of my wife. And I know the dog is looking for one of three things. Number one is looking for drugs. So I started looking at my wife. or they're looking for explosives and bombs, I started walking away from my wife. Or they're looking for food because they don't allow you to come in their country with food. And sure enough, in the luggage of my wife was food. You, brothers and sisters, dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has made us special. I came this morning from New York, and I'm flying on the plane, and I'm looking as we're about to land, and all of the land of America and the land of Canada, and I'm seeing all these things that man has made. All of these magnificent inventions and all of that by Allah's permission. What I want you to do. If you had a choice to live, if Allah gave you a choice to live for 50 years or 70 years, which one do you choose? 70? Why? More blessings. Why? To learn more about Allah, to worship Allah. Why? Why 7? What's she say? Yes. If I ask you, life expectancy is a way to measure health. What country on this earth have the highest life expectancy? What country would you say? Japan. Japan. Who said Japan? Very good. Japan is number 3. What country number 1? Huh? Canada number 11. That's not bad because America is number 51. Yes, sir. China is not that high on the list. It's further down. Which one? Denmark? Denmark is 12, 13, something like that. Which country? Israel? No. Who said Egypt? No. Let me tell you. You're not going to get it, let me tell you. Let me tell you which country. It's Monaco. Monaco has a life expectancy just short of 90 years. 90 years. What country is last? Afghanistan is third from the last. Most of the African countries, many of them have the lowest life expectancy, and number 222 on the list is a country called Chad, with a life expectancy of 49 years. 90? 49. Why? I know what you're going to say. Imam Siraj, didn't you read the Quran? وَمَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تَمُوتَ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ كِتَابًا مُؤَجَّلًا. No soul can die except by the permission of Allah. It's already written in a book. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul shall taste it. Imam Siraj, if you believe in the qadr of Allah, if you believe in predestiny, pre-measurement, you would realize, Imam Siraj, that it is the will of Allah. Monaco has the highest life expectancy and Chad has the least. I would say to you, you're right, but with a caveat. And let me explain the caveat, and I'm going to use the next few moments to try to explain it. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Last week I was in Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is one of the poorest cities in America. Murder capital of the country. Joblessness, unemployment. And one of the strangest things about Flint, Michigan, that although it is one of the poorest cities in America, some of the richest Muslims live in Flint, Michigan. And I was very proud of a good friend of mine, Dr. Jawad Shah from Winnipeg. He lives in Flint, Michigan. And we had a conference, and you know what they were doing? The name of the conference? Healing Flint. Muslims in Flint, Michigan want to make a difference to turn the city around. The question before you tonight is, as a human being, what can we do? Two things. Number one, for ourselves, and number two, for others. Let's start with yourself. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I ran into a well-known Muslim cardiologist. He said to me, Imam Siraj, we have 3 enemies. He was excited. Imam Siraj, we have 3 enemies. And he mentioned the 3 enemies. I'm going to mention two of them. And the third one I'm not going to mention unless you come to me and ask me. And I know you will come to me and you will ask me. That's just the way you are. Imam Siraj, what's the third one? Let me tell you 2. Number 1, he said, sugar. Sugar is an enemy to man. Yeah, sugar. And brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, if you want to lose weight, all you have to do is stop drinking sodas. There's so much sugar in soda, it's unbelievable. And my brothers and sisters from Sudan, anyone from Sudan? Sudan? Allahu Akbar. My Sudanese friends, they never put sugar in their coffee. They put coffee in their sugar. I'm just saying. Diabetes is hurting us. I'm not saying don't drink soda. I'm not saying don't put sugar in your coffee. I am saying in moderation. Too much sugar is deadly for our health. Number 2, salt. High blood pressure, hypertension. It's too much. A lot of foods have natural salt. You can use a little bit sea salt, but don't put too much salt. At young age, it doesn't affect you as much. But the older you get, you see that the salt, it has a tremendous effect on you. So watch your sugar and watch your salt, and then watch the third one. What's the third one? I'm not going to mention it unless you ask me privately, and I will tell you. So number 1, I want you brothers and sisters to work on your own health. By now, no Muslims, and I know I'm going to get in trouble. You're going to throw me out of here. So let me get some water before you throw me out. Solid? You got some security for me? Do you?
MSA got it.
MSA, you got my back? Now you way over there, man. You can't do nothing way over there. Are you gonna run? By now, no Muslim anywhere should be smoking cigarettes. Seriously. Every year, 440,000 Americans will die as a result of smoking cigarettes. You say, Imam Siraj, that's their fault? They're smoking cigarettes? That's the consequences. But okay, what about every year 59,000 Americans die as a result of second-hand smoke? They're not smoking, but people around them are smoking, and they're being affected by their smoke. Over the world, every year, 600,000 people around the world will die every year second-hand smoke. The United Nations put out a report that said that by the end of the 21st century, 1 billion people would have died as a result of smoking cigarettes. The #1 most littered object in the world is cigarette butts. 4.5 trillion cigarette butts every year. Where do they go? They wind up in our waterways, killing the fish, killing the birds, killing animals. Because of this, that little thing that kills 4,000 chemicals in a cigarette. And we puff it and puff it and puff it. So brothers and sisters, every time you go to the doctor, they're going to ask you 2 questions. #1, do you smoke? And #2, do you drink alcohol? There are those Muslims who will tell you, well, cigarettes isn't haram, it's makruh. It's detested. I'm telling you here as your brother, cigarettes are haram. If you don't believe me, you go to the fatwa of the shuyukh in Saudi Arabia, and they say it is absolutely haram. Once you know the devastating effects of cigarettes, you'll never smoke it again. So brothers and sisters, please watch your own health. And now to my conclusion. I want to ask the question, well, what are you going to do for other people? Can we make a difference in Chad? How many think we can? Raise your hand. You know, sometimes you get to the point you say, well, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? We can't do nothing. We can't do nothing. That's the way you're talking. We can't do nothing. Time magazine, the latest beautiful article entitled, Can Google Solve Death? Can Google solve death? The search giant is launching a venture to expand human life. It begins with understanding the boundaries of human beings. What are our boundaries? What can we do? First, let me talk about Allah, and then I'm going to conclude with what we can do ourselves. What day is today? I said, okay, it's Thursday, okay. Thursday. Thursday. Tomorrow's Frigg's Day. Saturday, Sunday, Moon Day. Thursday, Woodens Day. Thursday. If you think I'm talking crazy, look it up. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All of them rooted in paganism. But that's another topic. But when the sun set tonight, what day did it become? Juma. Yom Juma. Right? Best day is Yom Juma. Everybody agree, right? It is a special day. It's a day in which Adam was created, the day that he entered Jannah. So Friday, or the day of gathering, Yom Juma, is the best day. Tomorrow when you go to the masjid, as you're going to the masjid, there's going to be somebody at the front gate that you may not recognize. Alladina yu'minuna bil-ghaib, those who believe in the unseen. And the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said that every gate at the masjid on Yom al-Jum'ah is an angel, and the angel is recording the people as they're coming into the masjid. You can't see them, but they're there. And the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, Ya Aisha, hada Jibril, yaqru alayki salam. Oh, Aisha, here is Jibril. He gives you the salam. Qalat wa alayhi salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tara, give him back the salams. And Allah's peace and blessing be upon him. You see what I cannot see. But Aisha believed in the Prophet that that angel Jibril was standing there, right? So we believe in the unseen, right? We believe in angels, right? So Yom al-Jum'ah, the best day, the angels are at the gates and they record the people as they come in. And when the Imam gets on the member, the angels fold their books and they listen to the khutbah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. The angels are listening to the khutbah. Subhanallah. What are we saying? Yom al-Jum'ah is so important that if the person next to you begin to talk, if you say, shh, shh, be quiet, you yourself violate the Jummah. No talking. Everybody must be quiet and you listen to the Imam. True? Okay. I like to go back 1400 years ago, something happened. $10 minutes? Good? 10 minutes? I'm good? 10 minutes? Solly ain't saying nothing. Solly. 10 minutes?
As long as you want.
As long as I want? Don't ever tell Imam Siraj as long as you want. Never. That is a mistake. And 1400 years ago, the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, is given a khutbah. During the khutbah, a man stands up and says, Ya Rasulullah, the cattle has died and our children are hungry. It was a severe drought. Fad'ullah lana. Ask Allah for us. I'm going to see what the Prophet is going to say this Yom al-Jum'ah, and he's interrupting the khutbah. What will the Prophet say? Does he say, wait a minute, after the Jum'ah, I'll talk to you later? Or, no. He turns around and faces the Qibla and do istiqa and ask Allah for rain. At this moment, I'd like to bring forth a witness who was there. Anas ibn Malik, radiallahu anhu. He said, Wallahi, I swear by Allah that when the Prophet raised his hand, there was not a cloud in the sky. But by the time he put his hands down, clouds gathered like mountains. And it began to rain, and rain, and rain. And when the Prophet ﷺ got down from the minbar, his bed was wet with rain, and they said it rained all day, it rained the next day, and the next day, and the next day, until the following Jum'ah. And the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, was given the khutbah. And during the khutbah, a man stood up. Some say the same man. And said, Ya Rasulullah, it's too much rain. Ask Allah to stop it. And the Prophet, he turns around and asks Allah around Medina and not on Medina, and then it stopped raining. A drought. A drought. But the faith of the messenger of Allah to ask Allah for rain, and it came. How many have ever been to the Hajj? Raise your hand. Ask your question. Hajj? What day did you stand at Arafat? What day? The 9th of Dhul Hijjah, right? Why? Why did you stand at Mount Arafat the 9th of Dhul Hijjah? Simply because the Prophet said it, alayhi salatu wasalam. True? Did you go to the Kaaba? You ran around the Kaaba? How many times? 7? Which way did you go? Clockwise or counterclockwise? Counterclockwise. That's true. Why counterclockwise? It happens to be the direction of most of the planets. Why 7 times? I don't know. There's 7 heavens, 7 days a week. I don't know, but no one told me why. Did you run between Safa and Marwa? Huh? Did you? How many times? 7? 7? Why? 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 She who? Hajar. Hagar. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, this is the tradition of why we run 7 times, because of Hagar. What you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for some water. I'm looking for some help. And when Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam was walking away, Hagar was running after him. Ya Ibrahim, Aina Tefah! Ya Ibrahim, Aina Tefah! Aina Tefah! Where you going? Abraham, don't turn around and keep on walking. And then Hagar says, isn't Allah commanding you? He says, no, yes. She said, then Allah would never, ever neglect us. And she went back. Her husband, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, left her with some dates in a little pouch of water. He gone. But before he goes, he turns around and makes dua to Allah for his family that he left there. Alone! A mother and a baby alone! She ran out of water. There's no water. And she's looking and she's looking. And then behold, she hears a voice. She looks and behold, next to the baby is the angel Jibril. Angel Jibril begins. Then the water shoots up out of the land. Behold, water, miracle of Allah. That's what Allah does. It's His job. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَفْعَلُ مَا يُرِيدُ. Allah does whatever He pleases. And when you have faith in Allah, no matter whatever the circumstances, you believe in Allah. Doctor said, it's terminal. So only Allah determines if it's terminal. Have faith in Allah. Now I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, all over the world, people can't get water. Yeah, water. Can I tell you something about water? Check this out. Average water ranges from 200 to 300 liters a person a day in most countries in Europe. What did I say? 200 to 300 liters a day. In the United States, the average person uses 575 liters of water a day. Residents in Phoenix, Arizona, a desert city with some of the greenest lawns in the United States, use more than 1,000 liters of water a day per person. You never understand things until you see contrast. By contrast, average use in countries such as Mozambique is less than 10 waters of liter a day. 10 liters. The average person in the United Kingdom uses 50 liters of water a day just flushing their toilets. 10 liters of water a day. I didn't say 10 liters of water to drink. 10 liters of water a day. You take baths, you take showers, you wash your car. All of that. You're thirsty, take a few steps, open up the refrigerator, and you get yourself some water. Some people gotta walk miles to get dirty water. It's happening all over the world. You wonder why Islamic Relief is doing that? Because they know. I believe that most people do better when they know better. Most people, they don't know. The question is, what are we going to do? I close with this. I ask you the question, if you had a choice to live 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, life expectancy, or 50, most of you would choose to live longer. Because if you can live longer, you can do more dua, make more prayer, ask for more forgiveness, and all of that. I leave you with a hadith authenticated by Ibn Tirmidhi. He said that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ مَنْ طَالَ عُمُرُهُ وَحَسَنَ عَمَلُهُ. The best of the people, those with long life and good deeds. Long life and good deeds. Your life, no doubt, is in the hands of Allah. That's true. It's written. But there are some things that we can do for ourselves, away from sugar, away from salt, and away from the third thing, which I'm not going to mention now. You're going to have to ask me later, and you will ask me. And then the question is, what are we going to do for others? I'm intrigued by what Islamic Relief is doing. This is not a fundraiser. We originally wanted to be a fundraiser tonight, but we understood that people there didn't know that was going to be a fundraiser. So because you didn't know it was going to be a fundraiser, we're not going to do a traditional Siraj Wahhaj fundraiser. But I'm asking you this. There are people around the world that are suffering, and we can make a difference. No, we're not like Jibril. We can't make the water shoot out. We can't be like the children of Israel. Moses hit the stones and the water came out. We can't do that. That's the philosophy. What we can do is give some of our money to build a well. How much does it cost for one well?
1,000, 3,000.
Up to 1,000, up from 1,000 to 8,000. All right. So I myself going to buy some wells, inshallah. It's my niyyah, I'm going to buy a number of wells, inshallah. And I want you to think about it the same way. You want to raise your hand, you want to say, I'll do it. But if I were you, I would say, you know what? I like the project. You see, Salah, you have like forms and anything like that? Did you give them out?
Yes.
Everyone have a form? Well, if they gave you money, you would take it? You would definitely, he said yes, you would take it. So any one of you tonight want to donate money, see Brother Salah, who should I say? Salah? In the back? In the Sham and others in the back. So therefore, brothers and sisters, that's easy. That's easy. I love you. I want you and me to be around a long time, inshallah, in health. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, bless this community, bless the imam, bless the leaders, bless the people, and all of you came out together, all of the organizations, MAC, and the rest of the organization. Thank you so much. Let us do something. Let us make a difference. Assalamu alaikum.